Hello, everybody, and welcome to my unexpected bookish vacation. I'm Marilyn Maya, and I'm in Minnesota right now. And tomorrow I'm going to Europe. So, why am I talking to you? Because I unexpectedly booked a bed and breakfast that was heaven for any booktuber or anyone who loves books. And I had to show you a little bit of my unexpected bookish adventure. So, I like bed and breakfasts, and I really got a good one this time. This house is full of books. It's a library. It's basically a library, um, and it's just wonderful. It's the most wonderful place that I've ever stayed. I've been perusing these books since I've got here, read a couple. I've only been here 4 days, but I wanted to show you just some of the variety. Not only do the gentlemen who host this beautiful vacation spot uh, love books, they also love movies, they love games, they love old movies, they love new movies, they have the Odyssey, and they have everything. So I just picked up a few books that I wanted to show you that really spoke to me, and maybe will you. Of course, the first thing I picked up were some mysteries, but I'm not going to talk about them. I really I had talked about the Stargazy by a Richard Jury novel by Martha Grimes on my own channel. So when I saw The Grave Maurice, that really was a New York Times bestseller, well, they all are, and it's also a Richard Jury novel, first time in paperback, but I really like the concept. In a pub called the Grave Maurice, Melrose Plant overhears the intriguing story of 15-year-old Nell Ryder, granddaughter of the owner of Ryder Stud Farm in Cambridgeshire, the heart of Britain's racing world. The girl was abducted nearly 2 years before and has never been heard from again. I said, how am I not going to finish this? Well, I didn't finish it, but I wrote down the name. Uh, Now we're out of mysteries, and let's get into some really interesting books that I found, some of which that I've watched on other people's videos. This one in particular by Edith Holden is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And it's basically a diary that a real Edwardian lady wrote as a journal. And how many people, especially booktubers, have journals? Um, this was copyrighted in 1977, but it's a reproduction of a naturalist's diary, and she has just beautiful handwriting. And the first page says Nature Notes for 1906, and it's a poem by Byron, and she just copies it down. And it goes on for all the 4 seasons. And she has January with leaves. And I can't tell you how much that I enjoyed uh, reading this book. It's just full of nature, full of very scientific terms of plants that she has, and poetry. And here is the U, YEW. And yeah, I can go on and on about this book, but it's gorgeous. It just goes through May. And it also has diary. It says May 15th, I also gathered the yellow weasel snout, lady's mantle, field scorpion grass, and the garlic, the latter just breaking through its green sheath. And May has been a cold, stormy month. So it's a diary, it's an art book, it's the country diary of an Edwardian lady, a very, very talented Edwardian lady. Speaking of poetry and books, here's the collected poems of Emily Dickinson. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me, the simple news that nature told with tender majesty. So I would love to read this. Then I found another beauty that I heard about on BookTube, and it's Bettyville by George Hodgman. Basically, it's a story, and this is from my own understanding, it's a story of a mother and son's relationship. And when the mother is turning 90, he returns to Paris, I think it's Paris, Missouri. So it's a beautifully crafted memoir. So it's true. I didn't know this was not a novel. And he returns to the hometown of Paris, Missouri for his mother's Betty's 91st birthday at the height of the hottest summer in years. He thinks it's only for a brief visit, but finds himself unable to get back on a plane. The roses in the garden are in danger, and Betty is too. The mother, George remembers as the beautiful blonde flooring the accelerator of the family's battered Impala has lost her driver's license and her income help. This ever independent woman, killer bee at the bridge table, perfectionist at the piano, now needs the assistance she would rather die than ask for. And what it's just I heard it's just beautifully done, and it shimmers with kindness. Uh, that's not here, but I heard this on another channel talking about Bettyville by George Hodgman. So of course I'm jealous because I didn't get the book. He also, they also, the hosts of this B&B are, I'm in St. Paul, by the way, St. Paul, Minnesota. And I did not know that F. Scott Fitzgerald was raised in Minnesota. So here's a big, I would say, coffee table book. F. Scott Fitzgerald in Minnesota, the writer and his friends at home. And he lived on Summit Avenue, which is where the Twin Cities started, was in St. Paul. That was the old city. And it just has beautiful where he lived and where they moved to. They all lived on Summit Avenue. Let me just show you one. Well, first, of course, it rains a lot, but I mean, snows a lot in Minnesota. But here's a photo of one of the places they lived. And even now, the houses on Summit Avenue are very large and beautiful. And there's also F. Scott Fitzgerald in St. Paul, Still Home to Me. And it's illustrated. It's by Lord C. Hackle. And this one, I don't think it's by Dave Page, with photography by Jeff Kruger. That's the F. Scott Fitzgerald in Minnesota, the writer and his friends at home. And this one is really cute. It has his childhood letters, and it goes every year from the time that he was in Minnesota. And I think it was 1896 to 1920. And so it goes every year of what he did, brief chronology of Fitzgerald's years in St. Paul. So every year he was in plays. In 1917, the United States entered World War I on May 18th. That year, the Selective Service Act became law. So Fitzgerald, it says, so it talks about Minnesota. And so he took exams at Fort Snelling to receive appointment as an officer in the regular army and received his commission on October 26th. And here's a picture of F. Scott Fitzgerald in uniform. So makes me want to read his books again. So then I'm going to just show you a few coffee table books that spoke to me because I'm going to Paris tomorrow. So this is Claude Monet's Gardens in Givenchy. People who speak French, please tell me how to say that. But it's so beautiful. If you've ever seen his paintings at the Louvre or other places, I think they're in MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, water lilies, and it's just beautiful. The lilacs, and on the back there's orange blossoms. It's just So I just, glanced through the book, and in the welcoming shade of a weeping willow, Monet would spend hours gazing at his water lilies. So here's the water lilies. So that's just beautiful. And yeah, I've been really enjoying my time in this bed and breakfast, because I can tell you, for all the books that I've shown you, there's hundreds more. So I didn't need to go to a library or a bookstore, though I did, which I'll talk about when I come back. But I want to end this video now by saying that, like I said before, you never know what you expect when you're traveling. And this is my bookish dream. It's heaven to me. I don't want to go to Paris because I want to read all these books. So anyway, I'm gonna have to go to bed now and get ready and for my new adventure. And there'll be new books, new adventures, and I wish everyone a wonderful vacation and a wonderful time, or whatever you're doing this summer. And until I see you again, I probably won't be doing many videos like this because this wasn't just came up surprisingly, and I had to take advantage of it. But until we meet again in Hawaii, in Paris, all over the world, I wish you aloha.